Mine's kind of silly, but I think it's fun. So I like to imagine that there's this kind of supernatural twins that always give the same answers as each other if you ask them the same question. But they're supernatural, so there has to be a catch. You can only ever ask them one question. You only get one chance, and after they answer your question, they won't tell you anything else. There's no way to know what their answer is going to be to a question unless you ask them. And it feels as if they're simultaneously making up the answer the moment someone asks one of them the question. BBM92 is like if you had just like an infinite supply of those twins, so many sets, and you were to send pairs of those twins on journeys. So one to a spy on the West Coast and one to the spy on the East Coast. And when those twins arrive, they approach the spy that they were sent to, and the spy asks them a question. And then the spies call each other on their walkie-talkies to see if they asked any of the pairs of twins the same question. And the line is tapped, so they don't share the answers. They just share a very specific information about like, what question did you ask, and see if they line up in any way. And then the series of answers that they got when they happen to ask the same questions is their shared secret code. And they can use that to encode and decode secret messages to one another. So a secret was shared, but nobody could have intercepted it on the way because they didn't tell the twins the secret. The twins aren't spies. They're just floating along, going about their life. But the spies were able to derive it by leveraging the twins' supernatural connection. That's how I explain it. But I'd love to hear how someone else on the team would explain it.
Geoff, can we hear from you?
Sure. Mine's usually less verbose explanation. I usually just say that I think of it as entangled photon pairs that if anything like interacts with those, then their pairing drops away. But otherwise, they use to sort of make a random number generation. And then we use those same exact random number generations to create keys that both sides can use.
Awesome. And Matt, can you share what's your favorite way?
Yeah, mine is actually kind of similar to Geoff's. And I think the way I like to think about this might anger some physicists because I like to brush a lot of the intricacies under the rug. But the way I like to imagine is like you have a special pair of coins. You give one of those coins to some party and one of those coins to the other party. And then when they want to generate this key, they'll basically just start flipping these coins in secret. And if one coin lands on a head, that side or that person knows that the other coin flip also landed on a head. And similarly with tails and tails. And they'll just flip these coins a bunch of times to get these sequences of random bits. And then those are your keys, right? And so that takes a lot of like intricacies about entanglement or like different kinds of questions, for example, in Cara's explanation. But I think it portrays the right idea is that you've got these two things that are really far away from each other and they just behave in very similar ways without across long distances without having to try and like explicitly talk about what those coins are revealing.
Excellent. And Suparna, how about you?
These are great explanations. I think maybe to add on to some of these, also with Geoff's explanation, I would probably also like point out to how measurement basis selection works in a way by thinking of it as a pair of sunglasses that these two end nodes use, and they rotate these sunglasses. Either it's rectilinear or it's diagonally rotated, and the photons that are coming in that are acting like these magical coins or these twins, before we pose these questions to them, we like select one or the other mode of operation in which we ask them these questions. So that could like add that flavor of how we perform measurement basis to somebody who understands maybe sunglasses have polarizers in them. They can actually tell us which angle, what is the angle at which the electric field is oscillating, but probably too technical, but maybe, yeah.